And now we're going to insert a second slide. We're going to go to New Slide, and we're going to use Title and Content. So that's just a different kind of layout that we're going to use. And it doesn't have anything formatted yet. We're going to format it. So we'll kind of repeat what we did just to get used to finding our way around over in the format area. And the first thing we'll do is format the background just like we did on the previous one. We could right click and go Format Background. And we'll choose the picture texture fill. It's actually using the one we just used, so that's fine. And now I'm going to repeat the top. I'm going to click up here and give it that blue solid fill color. And make sure you're on shape options in the fill, and we'll give it that solid blue color. And then I'll also give it the line. So I'll close up fill, I'll go to line, give it solid line. I'll give it 2 point, and then I'll make it a darker blue. And it is the one at the bottom. So it used the ones that I had used in the past. Also, what I'm going to do next is put some text in here. And this is actually number 21. And we're going to do important PowerPoint rules. Okay, there's my text, and then I'm going to center it. And you could just center it this way. You don't have to use the format shape, but I'm going to center it this way. And even the text, you can do it on your home tab too. You could use the font settings in your home tab. You don't have to use the text options over here, although you could. You could go over here to text fill, and you could make it a solid fill of white. And if you wanted to change the font, I think you have to go over here to change the font. So we'll go to Georgia Bold, just like the other one. And I don't think we're going to change the font of that. I think it's fine the way it is at 44 points, so that's fine for our little title, at our little header part at the top. And you can see this box here, it's already formatted for bullet items, so we're going to leave it like that with bullet items. We might do some minor kind of modifications here. And the first thing we're going to type in is, do not ever read PowerPoint slides word for word. It defeats the purpose of a PowerPoint slide. All right, so I'm gonna type that in here, but I'll pause it while I type it in, and then we'll continue to number 25. Okay, there's my text that I typed in here. I think I fixed all my errors. So what I'm going to do is highlight this, and I'm going to make it 32 point. I'll make it a little bit bigger, and I'll also make it the blue color. Or I think we'll do that later, but you could do it now if you want. While it's highlighted, you can make it that same blue color, that darker blue color that we used for the line on here. So we'll make it a blue color. And then what we're going to do next is go to line spacing options. And line spacing options on the Windows version, you'll have a little button to open it up. On Windows, I have to use this thing, line spacing options. And if I open that up, you could still do that on Windows. There's a space before of 10 point. I'm going to change that to be 24 point if it's there by default. And I'll just type in 24 if it's not jumping to there. And also, while I'm in here, I could hit OK, but also while I'm in here, I'm going to check my indent. You can see it has a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch, meaning it's a 1/4 inch in from the side, and then it's a 1/4 inch from the bullet. So I'm going to increase that to 1/2 inch. I'll make this 0.5. And I'll make it hang by 0.5. So there's a little more space in there. And I'll hit OK. And that's pretty much how it should look. Now when I hit my next return and I start typing my next item, which I'm not going to have you watch me do, I'll put that in. It puts that 24 point space in between these. So I'm going to pause it here, and I'm going to type in the rest of the text. Okay, I have all my bullet items finished here. I have 3 of them, and one of the things it says is to actually use the Comic Sans font, so you can see what it looks like. You've seen that before. So I'll put this in the Comic Sans font. I'll scroll down and look for Comic Sans, and I'll put it in bold. So there's the Comic Sans font. So we have the spacing, we have the bullets all edited. What we're going to do next, and we have the text color. We did that ahead of time. That's number 29, but we did that ahead of time. And what we're going to do next is use any line breaks. If you wanted to break any of these, for example, if you want it on the next line, just do a shift return. If you want to reveal on the next line, but not a new bullet. Remember, if you hit return, it makes a new bullet. You don't want to hit a new return. You want to do shift return and do a line break. So that just makes the lines break a little nicer and look a little nicer. Next thing we're going to do, number 34, is change the bullets to numbers. We'll just highlight the 3 lines here, and we'll just change it to a numbered list, which is also an ordered list because it goes in order. And after doing that, we're going to click on the box using the quad arrow, and we could right click and do format shape so it shows the box options here. And what we're going to do on here is give it a solid fill of blue like we did before. So I'll go to solid, and it does it that solid blue, and we're going to adjust the transparency and put it all the way up to 80 or close to it. I have it at 79. I could click up here and go one more. So it's all the way up at 80. It's 80% transparent or 20% solid blue, however you want to look at it. And what we're going to have to do here, we're also going to give it a soft edge, but then we're going to give it a margin. To give it a soft edge, that's an effect. So I'm going to go here for effects, and I'm going to look for soft edges. That effect is soft edges, and I think we're going to put it up to about 10 point. So I'm just going to blur the edge. I was looking for the word blur, and we'll go around 10 point is fine. You can see what it does. Now, one thing we do want to fix is that with the soft edge, the numbers kind of go right to the edge, and it doesn't look nice. We want to have some margin inside that box, and we could do that. We could go right to the text box, and we have margins in here that we can do. So we're going right to this box here, and what we'll do for margins is we'll increase them all to 0.3. So by changing the margins of the box, we put a little margin inside here. It just looks a little nicer so our text isn't going right to the edge. So that's number 37 on our instructions. And then we're going to do some animations here, and this is the last couple things we're going to do here. We're going to do 3 animations, so these bullet items come in one at a time. One other thing I'm going to show here, that if you actually clicked on this box and you went to text options, there's actually text effects you could put on there. So if you did want to put a drop shadow on text, it's very easy to do. There's a drop shadow on text. If you'd want to go to the first PowerPoint and click on this one too, you could go here and go to text options and go to effects, and we could put the same drop shadow effect. It just makes it, if you zoom in there, you can see it stands out a little bit nicer with the white text on the blue background. Okay, so that's just a text effect, so I did it on both of those. Okay, and the last thing, like I said, I'm going to do is the animations. I'll just highlight number 1. I'll go to animations, and I'm just going to use appear, and you should see a little number 1 will appear there. And then I'll make this one the second one, and I'll use appear, and I'll make this one the third one, and I don't like to make these too annoying. So basically now we have 3 in a row, so when the slide comes up you'll see the top part, and then the animation will one at a time, 1, 2, and 3 will come in here. Alright, for one of the instructions I give you, and this is just kind of messing around on number 40, I mentioned putting a sound on here. Now on the Windows version, if you highlight this, you're going to have additional effects. There's going to be an area up here where you'll get different effects. On the Mac version, they have an animation pane that's over here where if you click on number 2, you can go to effect options and you can do a sound over here. So like I said, in Windows it's going to be over in the top. For here it's going to be down here. So I'll just do some breaking glass. I don't even know if you'll hear that, but if you just wanted to try out something like that. I don't recommend doing that. I just did that to kind of mess around. All right, finishing this up, we got 41 through 44. Our last thing is going to be save it. So what we're going to do is do a transition between the 2 slides. This is really easy. Click the first slide, hold shift, click the second slide, go to transitions, because transition is between the slides, and we'll do push. And it shows you even a little preview right there. And then number 42, we're going to go play from the beginning. So we could go for our home tab, and we could go to slideshow, and we could do play from start, and we'll try it out. And there's our first PowerPoint. We'll go to our second one. We'll see if the animations are working. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and you'll hit exit to get out of full screen mode. Okay, and then when you want to save this, we'll save it as PPO1, my first PowerPoint. So then we'll just go to File, Save As, and obviously you do that a little bit different on Windows, but we're going to save this here as PPO1, and we'll call it my first PP with your last name, and we'll save that in our wherever your PowerPoints are. So I'll save that, and we're done. That was 44.